Hello everybody and welcome back to the Super Weeb Estate. What'd you guys think of that? Super great, right? I didn't say Darkest Dungeon. Frick! Okay, so straight away, just a few things I want to talk about. If this is uploaded on the day that I have planned, today is my birthday, the 17th. I am 20, and let me tell you, I don't like being 20. It feels like life is going a little bit too fast for me, but, you know, it's my birthday, so be sure to wish me a good one. I don't know what I'm doing this year, honestly. Normally there's like a tradition where I go eat at a certain restaurant. I don't think that's happening this year, but, you guys don't care about that. You want to see the Darkest Dungeon. So, to put simply, this episode, I have to be a bit quiet because it's like super early in the morning. It's like 5, 4, it's 5. I looked at the time. I have no script, which I need. And I told myself in the previous ones that I needed. But, that's okay. So basically in this episode I figured, you know what? We're going to do some farming. And then we're going to head to the Crimson Court. We're just going to go straight there. Because every time I put off the Crimson Court, it seriously bites me in the patootie. So we're just going to go ahead. We're going to go straight to the Crimson Court after a little bit of farming. And then, yeah, we're just going to see how far we get. And then next time we get an invitation, you know, we'll have another invitation in case we have to leave the Crimson Court. So, yeah. Let's see. Is there anything else I needed to say or announce? I don't think so. So let's go ahead and get started. Hopefully I didn't forget anything, but we begin with a shambler, which, yeah, it's a shambler, you know, and I picked this fight myself, so luckily it went pretty good. We won, but then in the exact same dungeon, we see the thing from the stars. We kill it, and we get an Ancestors Trinket for Resolve XP, and then, because we have the Revive Lamia, I decided, you know what, let's just get the amphitheater. Why not? It's more healing, more stress healing. Seems pretty good to me. And then I found this a little funny. These two quirks just make so much sense together. It was really funny to me. And then I went ahead and brought a monsters group, quote, quote. The Fishman would have been third, but we didn't get him yet. So I just decided to go with this. And then, this is a really strong combo of items. Mother Crow, as you can see, I named her Mommy Squaw. But this item, you know, does that. And then the Heart of the Thief kind of complements that, so they work really nicely together. It's a ton of healing. And then we fight every guy's dream, 3 jelly girls in a forest. We found a hidden room, which, as you can see, 2 heads. I don't know how many more heads there are, but trapezohedron, a head, another head, pretty good. So that's, you know, we're really ahead of the game, Ed.
Mercifully, the morbid encounter resolved itself in my favor, and I set to work pursuing degeneracy in its most decadent forms. The air pulsed with anticipation as I revealed the unnatural terroir of the house vintage. But my exultation was cut short as the attending gentry turned upon themselves in an orgy of indescribable frenzy. A single drop of that forbidden tannin gifted me with a dizzying glimpse of the hibernating horror beneath my feet, and in that moment, I understood the terrible truth of the world. I stood reborn, molded by newfound knowledge, my head throbbing to the growing wine of winged vermin come to drink the tainted blood of the Darkest Dungeon.
we learn the Ancestor's a little bit of a jerk. But I decided to go right here. Here's all the trinkets, because I know I don't always do the best with that. We have the Riposte Head, we have the Duchess CC trinket that we got from the Viscount. We go ahead and we take the Color of Madness trinket because I think it's really strong. Take the Centricite because it's a bit of protection, but a scouting chance, even though I'm completely cheating and I have a map. Our Grave Robber does more damage against Bloodsuckers, Blight Resistance, Disease Resistance, chance for Blight skill, so, you know, her Poison Darts actually have a use, which means her Throwing Knife does more damage. Jania's Head does not affect the Grove Tender's regen, from what I found, so go ahead, give her Wilbur's flag. That way she just has a bit of stun resistance, she has some dodge, give her the handkerchief for bleed resistance, disease resistance, and then she takes a bit more stress. But, with that being said, I know it's a bit of a weird team. I found that it worked. The only one who's really sort of strange is the Grave Robber, because, well, she relies on blights and marks, we of which don't have either. This frustrated me so much when it happened. This really annoyed me. I was really quite upset about this. That's not the first time it happened. Spoiler alert, it happened to every single one of them I found. It was so annoying. But the biggest weakness, besides her sort of anti-synergy team, which, you know, honestly, it wasn't that bad. The Grave Robber hits hard enough, just normally, to where she honestly just made do. And then the extra Blight skill chance made it so she was landing Blights. Even if the Blight didn't land, there's still a chance that they have the debuff to where they get more Blights. So, meh. Plus she counters the ghouls in the area because she stacks, ouch, she stacks a nasty Blight on them. But yeah, she's the only one that I was sort of iffy about bringing, but I figured, you know what, her damage is good. She's got a lot of utility to her, so why not? I would have brought the Jester, except our Jester's dead, so Jester's not really going to work. Let's go ahead and get a 19 riposte there. Now you may be asking, why did you bring so many torches? The torches don't work here. Well, allow me to inform you. That is because the torches give a little bit of accuracy, which, as you'll see as this dungeon goes, we missed a lot. I don't know what was going on, but it was just not... Mainly the Man-at-Arms and the Duchess, they were just missing a lot. Like, it wasn't even funny. I'm not going to spoil anything besides they missed a lot, but, you know. There's our CC trinket coming into play. That just ages just every now and again. It's only 25% chance, which isn't great. But I mean, that's just a free, like, block of a hit. Now, it could be blocked by, like, 1 damage, or it could be blocked by 50. So it's kind of just the case of it blocks damage. It allows us to get more survivability than we would normally have. Oh, you know what? That reminds me. I think it was... Well, at the time this was uploaded, I saw it 2 days ago. But on the workshop, there was a mod floating around where it's the Duchess, except it's just human form Duchess. So you're not limited to just, you know, if you're like me and you prefer the Duchess as human, you're not limited to just 3 abilities, one of which she can barely ever use, being the forward, whatever it's called. Me personally, I think her second form is cool. It's really good if she's low and needs some healing. But me personally, I think the riposte is just so strong. Like, you could press that button alone and she would basically be able to do anything. Because even if she misses the attack, the riposte goes up, which, yeah, that's how, you know, I think it's I honestly think that riposte is just a bit too strong. But hey, you know, I'm not a mod developer, so what do I know? I totally forget how many character vibes we have left. Honestly, I lost track. I should have wrote it down. I should have said it in one of the other episodes. So I'm just gonna say we have 2, even though the number 3 is in my head. So I'm really thinking it's 3, but we'll just say it's 2 and be on the safe side, because I don't really want to cheat and get more. There's a Crimson Curse. Woo! Missed ya. It was a nice break without it. See what I mean? Look at all the dodge and misses. Like, yikes. And that's with the accuracy buff. And her not having any sort of accuracy debuff, so she's just missing a lot. Plus, that, I forget what it's called off the top of my head, but that attack has 105 base accuracy, so it's a good chance to hit. And they don't have the highest dodge, but the group was just missing a lot. But, you know, we'll see if that's a good or bad thing as the dungeon goes. A little child avoids a big abusive slap. Something funny about the Grove Tender is if you send her to the attempt to send her to the Flagellation Hall or the brothel, she has some very funny lines. The mod developer, it's so funny. One of her lines is like, "Regular people don't send kids here," and like another one is like, "This is child abuse." Just like, I didn't think about that before I tried to send her to one from our, what's it called, farmstead run, and it was so funny to me, because she's just like, "This is child abuse. You're trying to send me to a brothel and a flagellation hall. Also, look at that, a jute tapestry, wow, that's super special." The biggest thing this group is missing, which is where a jester would have came in so handy, is stress. Reason being, the Duchess can only go ravenous, kind of like the Thrall, the Flagellant, the Fool. There's probably more, but they're escaping me at the moment. But they all have like one designated check, which is always bad. Like they cannot virtue ever. The Duchess is one of those. So stress, you want to try and keep under 100, but with this team it's going to be a little challenging because we have no form of stress healing. We can get rid of Horror with the Grove Tender, but that doesn't really help with, like, Maddening Wine, Refined Palate. there's the Aegis coming into play. Sorry I'm not commentating about what's happening. I'm sort of just talking, but, you know, it feels nice to just sort of talk. And now that I've mentioned that I'm just talking, now I'm like, oh, I'm talking too much. But, hopefully, sometime soon, I can go back to normal commentaries. I'm also gonna try and make this as edit-free as possible because I got a a comment on one of my earlier videos. I'm so sorry I can't remember your name off the top of my head, but he commented, might be a little late, but all the cutting around makes the flow, you know, not as good. And I don't want it to be like off-putting to watch, I guess you could say. I want it to, you know, feel nice to watch, not feel like, oh, you know, like you get whiplash from scene to scene. So, I figure, you know, what better place to do minimal, minimal editing, I guess you could say, than in the Crimson Court. So, I'm leaving this pretty unedited. I have to keep it under an hour because my editing software, if it's even a second over an hour, it doesn't render. I don't know why. I've tried to work around that. Look, this definitely wasn't annoying. That would have been a lot of stress healing. Yeah. That was very annoying. That happens a few more times, and let me tell you, every time it happened, I wanted to punch the man-at-arms in the face, only to get riposted with a shield in my face. But yeah, I'm gonna leave this one pretty unedited, and we'll just see how it goes. We'll see if it's better, if it's worse. If you guys prefer it, then I'll just like, I'll do what I did in this one, which is like a quick sort of like here to here to here to here montage of farming, and then just video. I don't know how to, you guys know what I mean. I found that was working better for me. Set up the riposte of the man-at-arms, and then set up the less stress, more dodge. Just because those early hits, especially on the bloodsuckers, very important. Because you potentially could kill them when they're trying to mutate, I guess? Change forms? You know, they bite you, they change forms. Very important. Ooh, that quirk is so nice. I've seen it exactly once, but it's so nice. It's basically just like a permanent virtue. I forget which virtue it is that restores sanity every so often, but it's like that one. It's so good. Like that with the virtue that just restores sanity. Mwah. It's a shame it doesn't work on the one who has it, but that's okay. Also, what a nightmare. Look at this one. 2 Chevaliers. And then, you know, guy, and then you know, tick on a guy. There's the Blight. That Blight was very helpful. I was actually surprised how much it went off. I expected to need to do it twice a lot just to set up the debuff and then hit the Blight. But more often than not, it just sort of landed. Which, I mean, I'm not going to complain. Because either you stack the Blight and then, you know, so it's a Blight, does a lot of damage. Or you get a Blight and then you throwing dagger, it does 33% more damage, plus the 25% from the salve, which just makes more damage. So yeah, overall, I was pretty happy with this team. 2 riposts. I think in Darkest Dungeon 2, I'm hoping riposts are just as good as they are here, because riposts are so dumb. Oh, riposts are like... I mean, well, I guess I guess technically a team that could be could be all riposts would be, as far as characters I have, Duchess in the front, or Man-at-Arms in the front, you know, whatever you prefer. Or, no. Sorry, my brain is everywhere. Someone in the back, probably a healer. In 3rd slot, Man-at-Arms. 2nd slot, I want to say Highwayman. In 1st slot, Duchess. Set up a post on the Man-at-Arms. Guard the person in the back. Boom, that's technically 2 riposts. Highwayman does his forward dashy thingy. Boom, ripost. And then you do the retardedly good combo of can't remember what the name's called, but the forward dash and then point blank shot, which whew, such a good combo. And then Duchess just hits, and there you go. 4 riposts. Good luck hitting this team. Now, something that is really good about the Duchess, I may not be 100% correct on this, but if she kills something with the crit, she will heal, and she will stress heal. Not for much, as far as the stress heal goes, but it's something. Or it's just flat critting. Restores, well, obviously. Basically, when she crits, she heals and she stress heals, just in general, which is super nice because I find she has a really high crit chance, which is great because when she crits, she does stupid amounts of damage. This is quite a nasty room, actually. 2 Esquires. I guess it's a wasp. Or no, it'd be a... I guess it'd be a mosquito, wouldn't it, huh? Anyways, that aside, the power of 2 riposts, and then the unfortunate crit and a miss. The thirst, bleh, and then dead. And now both Esquires can no longer do their ridiculous hit everybody and then set up a riposte move. I'm not sure who's worse, in my opinion. I personally think the Chevaliers, or Chevaliers, I don't know how to say that. I always pronounce it Chevalier. I don't know if that's correct or not, but that's how I say it. I don't know if they're worse, or if the Esquires are worse. Ouch. Nasty crit. And a bleed. And marked! Why don't you just throw a stun in there, too? You may as well. I'm probably not going to commentate over this whole thing, just because I feel like I'm sort of talking your guys' ear off. But, you know, I wanted to do my fair share of commentary for this one, because I felt like it's been lacking. Ooh, 20 crit. That's not even from a riposte. That's just, ooh, and then the regular heal crit. Ooh, so nice. And then he bleeds out. That one's gonna bleed out too. Mwah. feels great, man. But yeah, without further ado, I'm gonna leave you guys for the rest of the video. I hope it's not too quiet. I'll pipe in every now and again. And, yeah. Goodbye. I'm going back to the void now.
The flow of otherworldly corruption. Precipitates a dizzying fall.
Sorry I had to completely skip that fight. Also, hi, I'm back! It's only been like, 20 minutes. Did you miss my voice? I'm sure you did. Was it weird not hearing commentary? Because now I'm gonna talk your ear off for the rest of the video. These things were amazing. The 30 guaranteed stress heal every single time you use a torch. So good, considering our freaking Duchess has been ravenous. So it's really, really handy. But as far as how this dungeon is going, ravenous sucks. Approaching a fourth check. 2 virtues. Nice. There's no other way to describe it. Just nice. This dungeon, it honestly, while I was running through it, it felt easier than the previous 2 did. I was a little shocked with how, because I was expecting to need to stop like halfway through. Well, besides her health right now, it's been going pretty swimmingly, but missing all those campfires, I was like, this isn't gonna go. I'm not going far at all. Like, I thought I was gonna have to stop like maybe halfway through, at best. And yet here we are. We're basically approaching the Duchess's door at this point. Not going to be able to fight her with this team. No way. We are in no condition. Especially not without a camp. I don't personally think... Well, maybe? I mean, with the condition they're in right now, there's 2 virtues. Ravenous, which, if we find enough thrall being cocoons, Ravenous goes away anyways. But what do you guys think? Could we do it? I don't know. Don't look at how much time is left in the video. I'm trying to be, You looked, didn't you? You ruined the surprise. Nice riposte kill. And goodies. Honestly though, this got on my nerves. The map, for whatever reason, is just like, you wanna look up here? It centers to the... I know what it's doing. It's going to the middle of the dungeon. But it's annoying when the dungeon is so big, and I want to see where we're going. But we have the red key now. So, time to back up. Ooh, look at that. Sweet relief as the eggs turn to ash. She loses Ravenous, and we're like on the doorstep after a quick fight or 2 of the Duchess. But here's the thing. I'm not confident with how this team is. Maybe they could have done it, but I end up taking the safer route, and you guys may not like this, but I end up leaving the dungeon. I know, you guys wanted me to fight her in this episode, I know, but I couldn't fit it. I needed to keep this video under an hour, and with how much I wanted to fit in, aka basically edit nothing out, couldn't fight her in this one. So we end up leaving. In the next one, we're going to bring a bit of a riposty marked party, and we are going to take out the Duchess, who is technically the final boss of Crimson Court, which means I would estimate maybe 3 or 4 episodes, and then Darkest Dungeon is done. We would have officially beaten all there is to beat, because Duchess, Guardian, Darkest Dungeon, and then the final Darkest Dungeon. So we are in the shadow of the end. But with that, we recruit a fishy boy to our team. And I will see you guys in the next one. Salutations, which means wish me a happy 20.